All right, people. Inflation was not our friend last Friday. On top of that, the preceding jobs reports coming out the first week of October showed or indicated stronger than normal seasonal adjustments. So we need to pay close attention to that going forward to see if it was a blip or something larger. Now, on the charts this week, I want you to see and notice that where we were having that upward trend, and again, upward trend on the mortgage bonds is what we want to see. As the bonds go up, mortgage rates come down. So we want to see that upward trajectory. And you can see in the chart now that we've gone up, hit a peak, and now we've come back down. You can also see where we marked where the Fed cut rates. And it's done nothing but, the bonds have done nothing but lose value. And as the bonds lose value, that's what pushes mortgage rates up. It's the teeter-totter effect. That's why I always love to use a teeter-totter to explain it. What goes up must come down the opposite side. So you can see in the bond page, we started just trade sideways, but a little bit of a drop down, nothing major. But then with all the inflation data and then the jobs numbers, that wasn't what the market was expecting. And you can see where the bonds sold off. And as a result, that's why rates have gotten worse. They've gone up. Where everyone's expecting, hey, the Fed cut rates by 50 basis points. Great. Hey, woohoo. So many times in history, we can go back and look that when the Fed cuts or raises rates, typically mortgage rates go in the opposite direction. This is why we say the Fed is cutting short-term interest rates. It's not a mortgage is not a short-term loan. Anything 10 years or less is what the Fed rate cuts and hikes are going to impact. There might be times where mortgages follow in line and it looks like they're doing what the Fed said, but it's because of the economic data, the inflation information, the comments that the Fed made about future market changes or what have you, or monetary policies. So there are times where it can look like rates are doing what the Fed said with the rate hike or cut, but there's so many times in history, and we're gonna put out a video that shows us. There's so many times in history, mortgage rates that is, typically move in the opposite direction of what the Fed does. So, and it's all got to do with the fact that the Fed's trying to fight inflation, whatever you want to call it, or they're trying to stimulate the economy and get it going. So, all that plays into the hands of the bond market and how things trade. And I know this is getting off a little bit in the weeds, but you need to understand it. You can't just follow and listen to, hey, the media said rates just dropped by 50 basis points. They haven't. They've been dropping leading up to this point, which is what you can see in the graph. It shows that from the beginning of July, rates have been steadily improving and they will continue to improve. Overall, we think this is nothing more than a blip, and going forward, rates will continue to drop, but it is not a straight line. And when you hear future rate cuts by the Fed, that doesn't mean mortgage rates cut by the same amount. So tamp down that thought process, read through this information. If you have questions, contact us. We'll be glad to walk you through this. But that's pretty much it for this week. And we'll check you out next week. Have a good one.